Hey, it's Chris with Auto Glass Service. Today we're going to be working on a BMW 3 Series. I think this is a 328i front windshield replacement. And before we get started here, just want to make sure that our area's prepared. And I'm going to show you also how this rain sensor works and how we test the rain sensor. We'll test it one time before we take it out, and then again once we put it back in. Okay, the rain sensor is mounted underneath this cover plate behind the mirror. To test the rain sensor, we'll put the key into the ignition of the vehicle, and on the switch here should be activated. Once you activate it, the wipers will come on one time. We're going outside the vehicle using our water. We'll put a little drop of water on the rain sensor, and you see how the wipers come on. And if you keep putting water on there, the wipers will keep running. That's how we know our rain sensor is working at this point. When releasing these clips, I like to go in here with a chrome tool, raise up the molding slightly, and go up underneath here and pry out on the clip slightly just to release it. You never want to pull straight up off of this molding, because it will break. It will break these little plastic tabs. Let's see if I can get in there, we can see them. See, it has plastic tabs with the chrome, with the metal made into it, and you will break this plastic if you just prying up on the molding. So you have to be very gentle, and you have to release it with just release it just like that, and the molding will come right off. The right and the left side are nuts. See, this one is broken. We'll have to make note of that on our paperwork. Could be that somebody put this back on before and over tightened these screws, and that will break this panel. To be very delicate with these when you put them back together. There's two wires in here that have to be disconnected, and you don't have to label them because they're pretty easy to remember. This one is further back, and this one sets a little more forward. I like to use a little screwdriver to disconnect. Okay, so we just removed the rain sensor and the condensation sensor off of the windshield, along with the rear view mirror. And I like to note that at this point forward, you do not crank the car, you do not put the key in the car, don't start the car for any reason, because this rain sensor is very delicate, very sensitive to light emission, and there's beams inside of here. And if you hit the key, you will cause this thing to go haywire. Just do not turn the key on. Do not crank the car at any point until this is back connected to the new windshield and installed back in place like it's supposed to be. So at this point, we're not turning the car on. Okay, here's what it looks like with the windshield removed. You see, we did no damage removing the windshield. No damage. The foam is still intact, and it's still just like it was before installation. Before removal, sorry. And the reason is that normally I use the wire or the fiber line. I use the Equalizer Viper to remove the windshield. In this case, I used the cold knife across the top and sides, and I used the extractor at the bottom. And the reason that I don't really show that is because both of them tools take a tremendous amount of expertise to use. It's not something that you should just pick up and try to use, because you will damage the vehicle. You will scratch the vehicle, you will damage it. But you see my extractor blade rode very nice along the edge of the bottom of the urethane and never hit anything. I never scratched anything with a cold knife because I know how to use this tool. I've been using it for 20 years. But I've seen a lot of damage where people just slides out and hits here, and then a lot of times it'll jump out and hit the sides here and tear up and scratch, and then people leave it scratched. But that's not the case here. So we're going to trim this urethane down using the Equalizer Super Scraper with a 3/4 inch blade, and we'll get everything prepped up and ready to go. So every morning before we leave the shop, we load up. All of our glasses are cleaned and inspected for damage before we get to the job. And once we're on the job, we clean them again, and we're also going to decontaminate this glass. We use Beta Braid F1, and basically just, I've done videos on this before, but basically we're just going to go around the edge. And give it a good clean. I'm using a circular motion. We'll just clean it very well. We're going to do this all the way around, and then we will clean it 2 times with glass cleaner. Okay, we've got our windshield primed up. You just have to wait for it to dry the time it needs. And we're going to go here and prime the pinch weld. And because we're exact with our tools and don't cause damage to the vehicle, we don't have a lot of priming to do. There's a couple of places. There's one more right here. Primed. When you use the tools that we use and you're very patient and very careful to remove the urethane, you don't do damage, you don't do any scratches, you don't have a lot of priming to do. And I prefer to take my time and do it like that rather than have to prime the whole pinch weld. Our company uses Dow automotive products only, and today on this installation we will be using one, which is a high modulus urethane for these types of cars. We just want to make sure that we have one line here. We put all of our urethane together so it makes one line. After setting it in, this is what it looks like now. We have our retention tape up here just to hold it in place until we get everything put together. Then we'll be taking that off. You see the urethane didn't ooze out around the edges. It sits underneath the windshield real nice. We don't move the glass, which this is high modulus urethane, so it's not real easy to move the glass around once you set it in place. And everything is set firm, the correct height. Alright, so after reinstallation of the rain sensor, we'll test out our rain sensor and make sure everything's still working correctly. Insert the key. right here, we're going to flip this to automatic. It's getting, oh, there we go. Alright. And the wipers will come on one time, indicating that they're active. As we put some water, our rain sensor is working properly again. And this is our completed installation. Just got to get it cleaned up, and everything will be good to go. I'm Chris Sparry. I'm with Auto Glass Service, and this is how we do our BMW windshield installations. Thank you.